Hi guys, sneakytashi here. I had recently just cleared Challenge Rift 170 with a massive 91% less damage difference. Um, I thought it was about time that I updated my build on YouTube. Shout out to Talon for being the fine gentleman that I had discussed and theory crafted, adding flying kick into the build to make the mob clearing significantly faster and slightly more damage to single target with boss fights. Anyways, I'm gonna first go over my essences, my legendary gems, my combat rating, and the gear that I had on. For the helmet, I use Numb Realization is what I believe this... Weird that it doesn't really show it, but yeah, it's the one with Floating Palm Bleed effect. You're able to detonate it with everything else. This is one of the new legendaries from the last patch. This one is Storm something. It's kind of weird that it doesn't show the name of it. Storm Spirit is what it's called. This one is the Seven-Sided Strike legendary. It's called the First Wind. For the pants, I use Flaming Tornado, which turns your flying kick into a fire kick. This one is Dragon's Indignation. This is what makes the Cyclone Strike automatically crit. And for the offhand, I use Reaching Rebuke. This is what enables your your Exploding Palm to be a jump and a knockback. In terms of gear, I have triple for my helm, triple for my chest, a triple for my shoulders, triple double for my pants, triple double for my main hand, and a triple for my offhand. In terms of set items, I was not running any set pieces. As you can see here, a lot of my gear are reservist gear that I had from recently class swapping. The combat rating that I had when I did this was 5,883. As you can see here, it was a massive difference of, let's do a calculation here so that I don't look too dumb. 590 combat rating difference, 92 combat rating difference. Okay. For my legendary gems, I use Chip of the Stone Flesh, Blessing of the Worthy, Bottled Hope, Blood-Soaked Jade, Sleeping Vial, and Howler's Call. Chip of the Stone Flesh doesn't really do much here. The only thing that it really procs off of is Howler's Call, which is very unreliable. For Challenge Rift pushing, I would recommend you to use something like Echoing Shade or Zwenson's Haunting, but let's be real, not everybody will have those gems maxed out, as people will play for both PvP and PvP. Okay. Did I not have it on screen when I was showing it? It was blocking. Here, I'll click it again. Sorry about that. With that being said, I think the rest is Paragon Tree. I didn't fully optimize this as well. I don't have enough points to put in Wrath and to put in Heart of Wrath. So the only real thing I was getting was Zeal. I just went for damage nodes. I'm currently working on Survivor to get the last damage node here. Treasure Hunter, nothing big here, it's just a damage node, right? I'm a big PvPer, so all I really get is Cheat Death and Gladiator Tree. And Mastermind Tree, because right now there's this abusable thing that you can do at the moment. I don't know when they'll patch this out, but take advantage of it right now. You only need to slot at 1 point in armor penetration to be able to get all the way up to the damage. So this is the cheapest 20 points of damage. Anyways, without further ado, let's watch the challenge Rift video. Okay, guys, enjoy. Thank you. If you have any feedbacks, concerns, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your highest challenge Rift combat rating difference has been. Because I think that the higher the combat rating difference that you have with Challenge Rift, the bigger the achievement. Anyways, enjoy! I guess one of the things that I didn't cover was the skills that I used. I thought for myself it was rather self-explanatory when I went over what my legendaries were, but what you'll see here is I use Exploding Palm, and that's the Reach and Rebuke offhand. That allows me to jump around like that and knock the monsters back. It's a really good way to move around, dodge, bob, and weave, and provides a small iframe that you can use to mitigate some damage. It's also a knockback and one of the largest sources of damage that you can provide when you are AoEing down mobs. The second skill is Cyclone Strike. It's I use the chest to turn it into a tornado, and I use Seven-Sided Strike to deal damage, provide an iframe in the middle of a mob, but most importantly it ignites the Cyclone Strike. As you can see from the orange numbers there, that is an automatically critting fire damage, which is an insane amount of damage, especially when you're doing it in the middle of a pack. Third skill is Flying Kick. The pants turn it into a Flame Kick, which is automatically critting. It does a significant amount of damage, and you have 3 charges of it. The fourth skill is self-explanatory. It's a Seven-Sided Strike. It's the flame version that ignites the Cyclone Strike, as I mentioned before. Fortunately, at the beginning of this specific rift, I encountered a large amount of blue mobs. Whenever I do challenge rifts, I fish for not necessarily mob type, but the map. I look for the Zoltan Pool Temple map, the library map. I don't know what you guys refer to it as. There's any different names to it. And I ended up getting Crusader King, which is kind of unlucky because this is one of those bosses that you're expected to die at over and over again because of the skeletal archers that he summons. Here I thought I had an opportunity to deal some extra damage with the globe that I had saved, but I got body blocked by the archers and the boss essentially killed me. I started figuring out different strategies here. One of the first things that I noticed here was if I summoned my allies too early, he'll kill them and they won't do damage, or they'll do less damage, right, because they end up dying. I also noticed here that I needed to change a little bit with my pathing. Otherwise, instead of being able to do a little bit more damage, the boss will just swing me down, I'll get body blocked by the skeletons, and I'll inevitably die. Here's the first change that I ended up making, and one of the things that I want to note here is the monster difficulty level again. This is the difference. I was taking 1,123% more damage, and I was only dealing 91% of my regular amount of damage. So I started improvising. I did the change where I summoned Mystic Allies after he did his initial swings. I positioned myself differently so that I'm able to cast a second wave of skills before dying.
Questing possibilities. My will falters.
At this point I was quite skeptical if I was going to be able to kill the boss because I had only dealt 400k damage in this specific span amount of time, and even though I was very fortunate on the blue packs really early on, I felt like I lacked a lot of damage here.
My wounds are closing.
I was doing around 100,000 to 150,000 every single time I revive, and eventually my revive timer would just keep going up and up. So I needed to match it with Mystic Allies time here. As you see, I waited for him to do his initial swing animation, and I went in for the hit. This allowed my Mystic allies to last the full duration, even though they take damage from the slam that the Mad King does. I kite a little bit so that I can do a second set of skills. Fortunately here the health and glow spawned and I was able to run away a little bit. I should have died there instantly in hindsight because my Mystic allies was already back up, so there was no point in staying up a little bit longer. And at this point I figured that the ideal skill combination should be Mystic allies, use my Cyclone and my 7-sided strike, use whatever picks I had available to me. And if possible, I were to go in for a second wave of Cyclone Strike and 7-sided strike. If possible, I tried to start killing these archers and the skeletons, but unfortunately, to my dismay, I forgot that the Mad King will just keep summoning more. At this point, I started going back to my original strategy of just having them despawn. At this point on, there was around 30% of Mad King's health remaining, and I told myself, okay, this is doable. And I went for it. I used my ultimate. One of the things that I wish I ended up doing was casting my Immortal ability. I'll show you guys that ability later. It's an insanely cool animation. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I think it's a real treat to see.
I must exercise patience.
The things with the mobs is that they also make it hard to click the boss.
That ability is not yet recharged. I am
There it is. I did my pump and dump, died. Here is where I make a little bit of a mistake. This almost cost me the run, because I could have waited another second. I thought that the monsters were going to despawn, but they didn't. Fortunately here, I ended up getting 2 sets of my combo. Okay, well, 2.5. I got the Cyclone off, but not the 7-sided strike. The archer slayed me on the way to the boss. I ended up waiting for my Mystic allies cooldown. And here it is. This is the Mad Dash for the end of it. I ended up just tanking this because I felt like I didn't really need the life. I had my health pot already ticking and went for the kill. One of the things that I was talking about earlier before this challenge rift ended was the immortal ability that I have. It's an insanely cool ability that you can use, but it has a very long cooldown. That is the Immortal's ability of Eternal Crown. This gives me a cooldown reduction of 20% and 15% more attack speed. This would have been really crucial in defeating the boss. Fortunately, I had enough time to be able to kill the boss despite the difficulty of the boss and the challenge rift variant itself. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Throw me a subscribe if you enjoyed, you learned something from the video. Like the video, of course, and as always, comment down below if you have any suggestions. Join the Discord to be a part of our community. If you guys are interested in playing Diablo Immortal, come play with me. I am on the Worldstone server. We are the current Immortals of Worldstone. Come join us, hit us up, let me know. Alright, until next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Bye.